The Four Nations tournament is here, and we are finally going to get to see some of the best on best hockey for the first time since the Olympics. And I don't really count the All-Star games because those are glorified, like, shitty games. But with national pride on the line, I think we're going to see some players who are very motivated and some really good hockey. So in that vein, I don't want to talk about the players who we know are going to be the best of the best. I want to talk about some of the guys lower down on the depth charts who I think are not quite getting enough love, even from their own team. So here are the four most underrated players of the Four Nations tournament, one from each team. And these are all going to be guys who are like bottom pairing defensemen, bottom six forwards, or even backup goaltenders who I think are just not getting enough shine. And we'll start with the probably favorites for the tournament, Canada. And I'm going to go with Brandon Hagel. According to the most recent line projections for Team Canada, Brandon Hagel is currently slotted to be the fourth line left winger, even though he is 15th in the NHL in points this season. Do you know how many players in just the top six have more points this year than Brandon Hagel? The answer is 3: MacKinnon, McDavid, and Marner. That is it. Everybody else, in my opinion, could easily be swapped out for Brandon Hagel based on how he has performed this year. And the fact that Canada has him on their fourth line doesn't just speak to their depth, but in my opinion is a bit of a disrespect to him. Next, we'll go on to Team Finland, and it's going to be another fourth liner for this team, this time on the right wing with Mikael Granlund. Despite the fact that he started the season playing for the awful San Jose Sharks, he quietly racked up 49 points in 56 games, 106 in the NHL, and ahead of teammates like Artturi Lehkonen, Roope Hintz, Teuvo Teravainen, Erik Haula, and Patrick Laine. And I mean, it's not like Finland brought him just for his defensive specialties. He's getting second unit power play time. Why in the world is this team sticking him with Luostarinen and Lundell? I hope and expect he'll move up the lineup over the course of the tournament. Now for Team Sweden, we're going to go to the defensive core and look at a guy on the bottom pairing, Rasmus Dahlin. He's put up 42 points this year on a very bad Buffalo Sabres team, but he's also the #1 player on Team Sweden in terms of on-ice expected goals for ratio and on-ice Corsi for ratio. He is one of the best defensive defensemen in the entire league, and right now the Swedish team has him on the third pairing with Gustav Forsling. Like, no disrespect to Forsling, and I think that Dahlin kind of does complement his playstyle, but he needs to be a second pairing guy at least. And on top of that, it doesn't even look like they have Dahlin out there playing on the power play or PK, which is just absurd to me. And then finally, for the team I'll be rooting for, Team USA, it's another fourth line player in Dylan Larkin. 50 points in 55 games and one of the better defensive forwards in the entire NHL. They do at least have Larkin on the PK, but the second unit. I honestly would rather him be on the first unit, flip-flop him with JT Miller, and you could do the same for the third line, moving either Miller or Matt Boldy down in his place. I think Larkin should at least be a third liner on this team. Let me know who you think are the most underrated players for every team in the Four Nations tournament and who you're going to be rooting for.